What do you feel about that?
I'm just gutted, you know.
I knew in the back of my mind that my dad was there going, you know what, up in the morning, run, do your 3-mile run, get showered, down the club, 10 in the morning, back home for 5, have your dinner, in bed by 9, early nights, up in the morning, boom, fine pin, healthy body, healthy mind. I had that voice in my head. So when I was out having late nights and I was out doing whatever I was doing, I had that in the back of my head. But they wasn't here. So in a way, I was like, well, no one's here to tell me what to do. It's as if I needed someone to put me in my place. And I still kind of need that sometimes.
Sometimes he doesn't have the confidence in his game or in himself to deliver. You know, sometimes he needs an arm around him, and sometimes he probably needs a clip round the ear.
Foul.
Oh, that's amazing, isn't it?
Because I'd been unhappy for quite a bit of my life, you know. You know, snooker, I kind of got a bit obsessed with it and couldn't get the perfectionism that I wanted. I'd come home and I'd be so frustrated, and I'd be like, you know, I'd be a nightmare to be around, so I'd be on my own a lot of the time because I didn't want to socialise with people. So I'd become so driven to kind of succeed that, in the end, it done my head in, I suppose, that I couldn't attain this perfection. You know, I knew what success was like. I knew I was capable of it, but I wasn't achieving it, and I was like frustrated. And I was seeing other people getting results that I thought, you know what, I should be blowing them away.
His biggest strength is what God gave him. He's a natural player. He's born to play. His biggest weakness was Ronnie O'Sullivan himself.
Well, this is a bad mess.
I don't think I suffered with depression. I think I suffered with snooker depression. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm a depressed type of person. I just think I suffer with a depression to do with snooker. And I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it, you know. I could go out and play, but take me out of there, I couldn't do life. I couldn't do people. I didn't want to socialise. I had a social phobia. Just, you know, so I had to it was a nightmare. My life felt like a bit of a nightmare. I found running. You know, by mistake. I'd been out on a bender. I went down the gym. Thought I've got to get myself sorted. The geezer here said, "I'm going to run. You want to come?" And I went, "Oh, I'll go here." He took me on a run. He killed me. And it was outdoors. It was fresh air. It was the complete opposite, and it gave me like an endorphin rush that I'd never had before. You know, and it helped me manage my snooker better. It helped me deal with the stress and the pressure and the frustrations that I found myself with the game that I loved. I kind of had this thing of like, I love being outdoors. I love the fresh air. I love being over the woods in the forest, and it kind of gets me away, and I feel, you know, I want my ashes over the forest. When I'm dead, I want to be ashed up and thrown over the forest, mate, because that's where I've battled a lot of my demons. That's where I've come up with a lot of answers. That's where I've come up with, you know, resolving things, and it's made things wrong right. So, you know, I owe a lot to that, because it kind of got me where I am today, and it's got me through my career, if you like, because that's all I've done. I've got through it. All right, I've been successful. All right, I've won tournaments. All right, I've done this. I've ticked the boxes. I've won the world titles. I've won that. I've won that. I've won it four times. So I've ticked the boxes. I've become not just a world champion. I've become a multiple, you know. But I could have easily jacked it in after the first one. So for me, getting outdoors and being laid back is kind of me saying, you know what, that's where I'm happiest, if you like.
Here's a player that has fallen in and out of love with the game, with the authority. Sometimes he thinks he's got the world on his shoulders, and yet he can be the nicest person that you'll ever meet. He's an enigma, and geniuses are enigmas. I
just believe that the most important thing, the biggest love of my life, is my snooker. I've never been so emotionally ingrained in something, a person, an object, anything, like I have been with snooker. They're my people. Those who I play for.
Just tried to do his brain in as much as I couldn't, and I got him.
I felt so brittle. I was down with doctors, mate. I was going insane. pressure. 2000, when I come out of rehab. That was a big season for me.
Will you welcome Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark J. Williams?
Well, I thought, you know what, I need to sort this out. I was at a make or break point. I just come out of rehab. So I was like, just having to live with just natural feelings. I weren't picking up no drink. I couldn't kind of, like, that was it, over for me. And I thought, I'm just going straight. And so now I was like, I've got time, you know, I had lots of, you know, it was like my world changed. I was like, oh, I'm getting up early in the morning. I'm clean, I'm washing every day, whereas before I'd get out of bed, put my gear on. I wouldn't even have a wash, mate. I'd just get in the car, go down, egg, chips and beans, thank you very much, boom, on the table. And I was just, you know, that was it.
The week's major attraction, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Now I'm getting up, I'm going for my run, I'm fit, I feel like my eyes are, I'm seeing things. It's like, wow, I've got this new intensity about myself.
At 4-1 to Mark Williams, the world champion looked as though he was on course for the £100,000 first prize. Now it's wide open, 4 frames each.
So I kind of started, you know, working on my technique, working with a coach. I'd go to Bristol once a month, and some days I'd be up there and I'd be like, oh, I'll be so tired. Well, I've been at the table for 6-7 hours just working on stuff.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 77 and the 3.
This fast-flowing, fluctuating final ebbs once more in favour of the fans' favourite. Ronnie O'Sullivan is 6-5 up, on the verge of being the Champions Cup winner.
I knew my game needed to change for me to be able to win the world title because I was too inconsistent. The bad habits that had crept in wasn't going to allow me to sustain it for 17 days. So I knew I needed to work on my consistency and know that I could get up and have a formula that I could take to the practice table, and if something weren't right, I could change a couple of things and I was away again.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 91.
£100,000 and the Champions Cup. Fresh outlook, new perspective, an improved person, an improved player, and no more popular winner than Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And there ain't much time for fun and games. There ain't much time to have people putting yourself in situations where people want an autograph or they want a photograph or they, you know what I mean? You just have to kind of make sure that you're in a safe place sometimes where you can just recharge to go and do what you need to do, because that is what it's about.
How do you feel yourself, Sam?
I was emotional because I've obviously been through a lot of stuff in the last few months, and I was that close to quitting the game, and I've been saying it for a long time, and I've just had to get my life in order, and thankfully I've managed to do that. And life to me is much more important than this green baize and a bit of wood, because that's ruled my life for the last 6-7 years, because I've always wanted to give the public what I know I'm capable of, and I haven't been able to do it. And
even though I talked about letting go of it, I couldn't walk away from it. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't in me. I hadn't achieved what I knew I should have achieved. So it was like I had to keep going.
I'm just going to enjoy my life, and I'm going to be playing snooker for a long, long time, and I really appreciate all these people here, because they're my people. This is what I play for. And I've got some people here today, they know who they are, but they mean a lot to me as well. I'm not going to, but they're just different class, and I've got some good people around me now, and I'm just looking forward to just life again. Starting all over again at 24, it's mad, really.
A great champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan, ladies and gentlemen.
Even during those big victories, how much were you battling with it?
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing a radio interview in 2001. I mean, I was going into that World Championships as clear favourite. Out of 12 events, I'd won 6. Everyone around was saying, well, he's guaranteed he's going to win it. But I was suffering. No one knew that a week before that World Championship, I was down with doctors, mate. Couldn't even, social phobia, I couldn't be around people. And the girl I was with at the time, she was really concerned, you know. She was like, wow, this is not, you know, you really ain't well. And I went to Sheffield and I was in my room and they said, can you do a radio interview? And I felt so brittle. I couldn't, I said yes. But I thought, how am I going to get through this and not let them know that I'm suffering? So I thought, we'll go with it. And so I was blabbering on. I was like spurting these words out. I was like, ugh. I thought, what am I saying? And I just went to her, I said, you know what? And it was live. I said, you know what? I said, I really ain't feeling too good. I said, I'm suffering here. I said, talking to you. I said, I don't want to be here. I said, I'm struggling. But I thought, I can't hide this. I can't hide anymore. The more I tried to hide, the more I tried to not let people know I was feeling, the more I was feeling like, I felt like I was going insane. And they went, oh, we just hope you get better. We'll call the interview off. We wish you the best of luck, whatever you do. You know what I mean? I was like, okay. Put the phone down. And I phoned the Samaritans up. Someone said, phone the Samaritans up. So I was like, I started chatting to this woman. She went, you ain't going to kill yourself. I went, well, I don't feel too good. I said, but I don't think I'm going to kill me. I said, because I knew that if I'd stopped the snooker, a lot of my demons would have gone. But like I said to you before, I couldn't walk away. Because I still had to do what... I had my dad in there. And every time he said, I see you on the telly, he said, it's like a visit for me. And I was like, oh, I've got to play. Because that's all he looked for. He said, the only things I look forward to are visits with you. And should you come and see me once a month? And I'd be like, okay. So that was a kind of pressure in itself. But I loved seeing him. And I wanted to see him. And then when he said to me about watching me on the telly, he said, I love it, you know, put the kettle on, see you. He said, like a visit. He said, I sit there, no one comes in. He said, because I don't like anyone rooting for the other player. He said, so I heard this and I was like, he's got another 10 years to go, so I've got to at least play for another 10 years. But I didn't feel like it. I felt like I just wanted to walk away, but there was that pressure there of trying to do the right thing for somebody else.
Ronnie's had every coach there is in the game, I think. You know, he's tried all different coaches, you know, just to get inside their heads, and you know, probably most of them tell him stuff he already knows, but he's been, you know, right the way through the card. You know, he's picked everybody's brains, and he's at peace when he's you know, when he's confident and he's at peace. There's no one can beat him.
I knew I needed to kind of find some sort of game that could survive and get me through. And I worked with a coach for a year and bang, we won the world title. There goes the black. He's on 8. The balls are perfectly placed. Could this be his first world title?
No mistake, and it was effectively match ball that time. John Higgins was in first in this fray with 45, but Ronnie O'Sullivan wins the Embassy World Championship.
Massive relief, and that was it. It was like massive monkey off my back, and like the pressure had just gone out there.
This has been the fulfilment of an outstanding talent.
It's a fantastic feeling for me. Obviously, winning the Embassy World Championships was a great feeling for me and everyone around me. You know, we've worked so hard for that, but obviously I want to put that to the back of my mind now.
I started to win a few tournaments, I started to pick a few trophies up. I started to feel good about it, and I was like, God, why didn't I do this from day one? Because I was meant to be the youngest world champion at the age of 11, 12. I just got off on being in a snooker environment, and you know, I was just around adults all the time, so it was good banter. The lads were always taking the mick out of each other. There's always people playing pranks, you know. It's like its own little soap opera at the club, you know. There's all little... He was going out with a